Good morning. This webinar is about Twitter, and I want to welcome you. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Brenda Reed. I'm the Chief of Staff in Maryland Wing, and I want to talk to you today about using Twitter as a social media platform to extend the conversation and story about your units. So let's begin. And just so you know, I initially created this for Maryland Wing Conference. So if it's a little bit more Maryland Wing specific, I apologize. That's the reason behind that. However, you can transfer any of this information over to a squadron, another wing, or region. So let's move forward. Okay, what is Twitter? Twitter seems to be a little bit of something that people are either afraid of or they embrace it. So what is Twitter? It is a microblog. It's a way to blog, blog being a way to just get your story out there, but micro, so it's small. It's little short bursts of information. Some people are on Twitter all day long and they're tweeting constantly. Some people seem to think, oh, I'm not going to tell everybody what I ate for breakfast. Well, a lot of people don't do that anymore. It's really a way to get your message out. It's social messaging. It can be for fun. It can be for business. It's a way to report the news, and it is a good marketing tool. It's almost like a Facebook in miniature, if you want to call it like that. You have these posts, but you can do them in smaller versions, and you can do it more often. Facebook's algorithms only really allow you to post once or twice a day at the most before losing visibility. Where Twitter, it's constant. Now, on the flip side, you don't want to be doing it every minute, because then you will lose your followers, because you're going to take up their whole news feed and they're going to be upset with you and probably unfollow you. However, it is very much a tool to be used. Tweets, okay? Twitter is made up of a series of tweets. Each tweet is 240 characters. Back in the day when it first started, it was 140. They realized that people want to say a little bit more, so they have increased it to 240. A little bit more flexibility, but still the need to be short, very concise, to the point, get it across so people will read it quickly and move on. You can add photos, you can add links, you can put short videos on there. There is a way to tag other accounts, whether it be your friends or organizations. And then there is a hashtag, and the hashtag is a way to identify a specific issue, problem, positive event, whatever you want to hashtag. And we will talk about hashtags a little bit more. So let's look at this sample tweet. This was tweeted out from the Maryland Wing Commander, and I'm just going to read it to you and just read along with me as I go. The initial at Maryland Wing point of distribution team members are making their way back to the state of Maryland after supporting Florence relief efforts as tasked by 1st Air Force to work FEMA operations. Team number 2 is on their way to continue the important work of supporting the residents of North Carolina. So this was last fall after Hurricane Florence hit the Carolinas, and Maryland Wing sent a team down there. So they took a picture of the team right here in front of a flooded street, and they sent that up. We had a picture of it, and so the wing commander made this tweet. Now, a couple things, you can look at this, and you see the black words and then you see the blue words. Each one of those blue words has a special link to it. For example, the initial at MDWGCAP. Well, that's Maryland Wing. That's Maryland Wing's Twitter handle. State of Maryland, we wanted to let them know the state of Maryland that what we're doing. Hashtag Florence. So other groups and organizations connected to the hurricane relief efforts were using the hashtag Florence. So anybody following that hashtag would see our post. And then you have the 1st Air Force, you have FEMA, so they would get notified that this post was out there. And then down here at the bottom, you can see NORAD, NORTHCOM, U.S. Air Force, Maryland CAP Services, and 5 others. You have the ability to also tag people that might also be interested. You wouldn't put them up in your post or in your tweet, but you still want them to be notified that, they were part of this. So let's look at Twitter terms. I've kind of thrown out a few of them at you right now. And so I'm going to go on the premise that most of the people listening to this webinar know what Facebook is. So on the right side of this slide are the common terms that you are used to for Facebook. And then the ones on the left side are the Twitter terms that kind of are similar to the Facebook terms. So this way you can start to see that there are similarities. So a tweet, what is a tweet? A tweet is basically your post. You do a Facebook post, you do a tweet on Twitter. If you want to share a tweet or you share a post, then you retweet it. So retweet is your way to share. A hashtag is simply a hashtag, and we'll talk more about hashtags in a little bit. You use hashtags in Facebook, you can use hashtags in Twitter. You follow somebody, you friend somebody on Facebook. You can also follow people on Facebook as well. So if you're into that, then this should seem very similar. If you follow someone, on Twitter, they do not have to follow you back. They don't have to approve you. They can block you, but you can follow anybody you want. So you could follow a celebrity, you could follow the national commander, you could follow your best friend, you could follow an organization. So you have a Twitter feed, and that's comparable to your news feed on Facebook. The Twittersphere. Okay, these are a little cuter terms. The Twittersphere is basically Facebook. People talk about Facebook, not necessarily, they just sort of talk about it about like it's this environment, and that's what the Twittersphere is. And then you have friends. On Twitter, you have Tweeple. So just so that you're aware of some of these Twitter terms that I will be using throughout this webinar. Okay, the @ symbol that you see on these Twitter names, they can refer to people, they can refer to organizations, they can refer to companies, they can refer to news media, anything. So that @ is your Twitter handle. That's your name. In Twitter, you would have two places. You have a handle, which is basically your address, how you're going to be found on Twitter, and then you can put your name on there. The Twitter handle, you cannot change. The name, you can change. So for example, at Civil Air Patrol, that's how you would find Civil Air Patrol's tweets. At Maryland MDWGCAP, that's Maryland Wing. The next one is Middle East Region, which I know now when I'm creating this that it was just switched over to Mid-Atlantic Region. However, for when this was designed, it was still Middle East Region. At MDWG_CC, that is the Maryland Wing Commander. And then at Bren Reed, that's a person. That's actually my handle. So you can do multiple ones. You can do people, you can do organizations, you can do official people such as the Maryland Wing Commander, or you can do just private individuals like myself. So let's look at a couple Twitter accounts. So you can, again, this is just going to reinforce, and you can see what's out there. Okay, this particular one is my Twitter feed. This is my personal one. Yes, I will post Civil Air Patrol stuff on it, but I will also post other things on it. So it's sort of a mix. It's who I am. Now, I don't tweet often. I do tweet regularly, but it's not every hour on the hour, trust me. Okay, Maryland Wing. Okay, this is Maryland Wing's Twitter. So you have this organization. And on these pages, you can so this is how many, at the time when this screenshot was done, Maryland Wing had done over 2,300 tweets. Okay, they are following 120 people. So that would be comparable in Facebook that they have 120 friends, but they're just following these. And at the time, they had over 1,100 followers. In other words, 1,100 people were following the Maryland Wing Twitter feed. They like 99 things, which means tweets they would like. And then you have the ability to create some lists, and they only have one list. Okay, the next one. Okay, this is, I had mentioned the Maryland Wing Commander. So he has an official Twitter. He also has a private Twitter, a personal Twitter. So the Maryland Wing Commander Twitter account, when he relinquishes command and moves on, the @MDWG_CC will move to the next commander because it's an official Twitter account. His own personal one he will continue to use. So there would be a reason why you would have two Twitter accounts. This is the former Middle East region account. They are now the Mid-Atlantic region. However, you can see just a feeling of what it looks like. Over on this side, it gives you official information about the account. On this side, they make recommendations of who you might want to follow. So for Middle East region, they're going, oh, well, look, Virginia Wing has an account. So does the South Carolina Wing. You might want to follow them. And same information here. So now the Middle East region, the Mid-Atlantic region commander has his own account. Again, it's an official account right here. So this account has actually changed now the handle because it is the Mid-Atlantic region. So they established a new account. The vice commander for National CAP, General Felka, he has an account. Okay, it's good to follow him. You look at his followers. Now, this kind of is a gauge of how many people in CAP are actually following and using Twitter. Not that many. It's an opportunity for you to actually stand out in Civil Air Patrol because you have national leadership watching these accounts, and very few members are using them. Very few organizations are using them. And even with this followership, very few are active. A lot of times they'll make the Twitter account and then they don't do anything with it. So if you want to get your organization, your squadron, or your name out there, Twitter is a way to get national level people to notice you. So General Felka has one out there, and so does the National Commander. And as you can see, his account is pretty new. He has an official account, and right now he only has, at this time, he only has under 400 followers, but it's a new account. So give him time. I think that his followers and his will definitely increase because he does post some good things on there. So how does it work? How does Twitter work? Well, let's talk about it. Similar to Facebook, you're going to keep something short and sweet. Remember, you only have 240 characters. And you're going to put a picture because a picture is going to grab the reader. If you have a whole column of tweets and they're just words, you're not standing out. However, you get a good picture, you get something colorful, you get an action photo, and boom, people's eyes zero in on it and they want to read what that's about. So he posted this and he said, hey, last night Maryland Wing was alerted to, so basically there was an ELT mission and Maryland Wing was alerted and they were awarded a find, outstanding work. So he's got the find ribbon, he's got the AFRCC logo on there. He tweeted this out. Then what happens? Well, Maryland Wing sees that and retweets. Okay, that's how you share the tweet. You retweet, and they retweeted it and said, hey, well done, Team Maryland Wing. So here is the retweet. So it makes the picture here smaller, but you can link to the original tweet. And then here's where we say, well done, team. And that's basically a tweet and a retweet. Let's look at this one, Civil Air Patrol. The Secretary of the Air Force had a keynote speech at the annual conference in Orlando. So they post the YouTube video. So when you post a link, and you can see they have the link right here, and they say YouTube, and this is their hashtag for the national conference. They post it. This is how it looks. And then when Marilyn Wing retweets it, which you can see up here, it doesn't look that much different, but it shows up now on Marilyn Wing's Twitter feed. And so all of Marilyn Wing followers will now see the Civil Air Patrol. And this is important because many times you have the same people following Civil Air Patrol that are following Marilyn Wing, but there's a lot of different people. There's different organizations that may be following Maryland Wing, Maryland specific organizations, perhaps, like the Maryland Air National Guard. And they're going to now see the Civil Air Patrol post that, hey, the Secretary of the Air Force was the keynote speaker. That's pretty neat. I want to watch that video. So I promised you, what is a hashtag? Okay, a hashtag is a way to get some content in your topic. It's a way to search, and it's a way to organize information. And there's a short YouTube video that we're going to watch just for a moment. Okay, so that tells you a little bit more about a hashtag. They're very popular. I think they're a great way to search for something, especially if you're having an event similar to what they said, like the royal wedding. Civil Air Patrol has specific hashtags that they promote, and if you go to Civil Air Patrol's social media guide, they actually will tell you which ones those are. So this first one at Civil Air Patrol, okay, that's the handle. But if you were to um, talk about make a CAP post. You might do hashtag Civil Air Patrol. You might do hashtag CAP Cadets, CAP Mission, CAP Exercise, Total Force, Go Fly CAP. You do a post on cadet orientation flights, hashtag Go Fly CAP. Cadet solos, hashtag Go Fly CAP. You're working with the Air Force on something, hashtag Total Force. You're doing a SARAX, CAP exercise. So there's all kinds of ways to do this, but Civil Air Patrol will be watching these hashtags, and then they might see a post that you go, oh, I want to retweet that because that is what I want our organizational followers to see. So let's look at some of these hashtag uses. Okay, so these are just a series, several different posts or tweets that you would see. The very first one, and they're all using the hashtag Civil Air Patrol, and that's just going to get Civil Air Patrol's interest. They're going to be able to search Civil Air Patrol, and these show up. So now if you look at this one, it has the hashtag Civil Air Patrol, but also the handle of Civil Air Patrol. So they're going to get notified twice. Each serves a different purpose. One is notifying them individually. Yes, I have tagged you in my tweet. And then the hashtag, anybody can search and see. So there is a purpose. One is specific, one is public. This is another tweet. This is from Maryland Wing, and it's to at Civil Air Patrol cadets from Maryland Wing's Glenn L. Martin Composite Squadron complete a major milestone in their flight training, their first solo. So here we've added a link to a particular article. We have used CAP Cadet and CAP Go Fly CAP. Hashtag Go Fly CAP. So either of these could be searched for because it involves cadets and it involves flying. So you can have multiple hashtags. The caution there is you don't want to do more than about 3. After that, they just aren't as effective. Okay, here's another one. This one uses CAP Cadet. This was the National Blue Beret. So they have obviously cadets, and so they want to put that on there. Now see down here, they did the Civil Air Patrol with the @ symbol. So they did their handle. That means that Civil Air Patrol will get a private notification that they were tagged in this tweet, and anybody else can search publicly for this particular hashtag. Okay, here's a few others that are just showing some different things. So the first one, they did the handle for Illinois Wing. They did CAP Cadet. Now you notice they did all lowercase, and the one previous was uppercase. It really doesn't matter. It all goes the same place. But then they did hashtag leadership. So that's going to bring a different audience. Anybody who is searching for leadership might do hashtag leadership. They're going to learn about Civil Air Patrol and go, oh, Civil Air Patrol, that's a way to learn about leadership. So it creates an avenue for different audience. So now down here, this is similar, same person, different tag. So he hashtagged Michigan Wing and hashtagged right here, hashtag Cap Cadet. And then now this is an Instagram post. So basically this was posted to Instagram and then came immediately to his Twitter feed. I do not recommend this. It would have been better to have posted the photo and created the tweet that way, because when you see this, you don't see the photo, and that photo is what's going to capture the attention. And then finally, this last one just shows you how you can bring Civil Air Patrol in and search for CAP cadet, and it can be your personal one. It does not have to be an official tweet for Civil Air Patrol. This is just a CAP member who mentioned, was mentioning her brother's birthday, and mentioned, hey, he became a CAP cadet last night on his 12th birthday. So there are many different ways that you can use the hashtags. Now, to create an account. How do you create an account? It's really simple. Like anything online, it's create a name, a username, come up with your password. So you're going to create an account. You go to twitter.com. You can do this mobile. You can do it on your desktop. So you're going to select your Twitter handle, and that's that word that's going to come after the @ symbol. Now, just if you remember, I talked about your real name and then a duty assignment one, depending on who you are. Your real name, that's the one you're going to keep. You may move on in Civil Air Patrol. You may, move on from being a public affairs officer to a commander. You never know. It could happen. But your real name doesn't change. So have a real one. So this one is the Twitter handle for the Maryland Wing Commander, Winter Joe, U.S. Air Force. But he also has a duty assignment one, the @ Maryland Wing CC. And that one will get passed on when he, again, relinquishes command. He will pass that Twitter handle on to the next commander. They do this for the President of the United States and the First Lady as well. You'll see there, it's always POTUS or FLOTUS. But when a new president comes along, then the old president's tweets are archived and the new president starts off with that same handle. And then you'll see the old president go and use his personal one at that point. So select your Twitter handle. Realize that it's public, anyone can see it. So you want to keep something that's going to be recognizable for you and something that you're going to be proud to associate with the CAP name. Next, put your profile picture up, get yourself a cover photo, and write a short description of you. You may want to put something about, opinions are your own if you're one of those that posts opinions. So let's look at a couple of these. So these are where you can write your information, and this goes on your actual Twitter page that you would have. So the first one, Maryland Wing. So we have our pictures. This is the Twitter handle, and so we are the official Twitter of Maryland Wing @ Civil Air Patrol, performing missions for American emergency services, cadet programs, and aerospace education. We're located in Maryland. This is the link to our website, and this is when we joined. And they could hit this to say, hey, tweet to them. Now, when I meant this is our wing commander's personal account. So he talks about himself, that he's an airman with the Air National Guard, and you notice you can link on these. He's a communication professor at Loyola University. He's the Maryland Wing Commander, and so he puts his multiple different Twitter handles there and where he graduated. So that also links some other organizations. So he's from New York, now DC, and he's often traveling. He joined in November 11, 2011, and it actually gives his birthday. General Felka. Now this is his personal one. It's Brig Gen Felka. So it's not a one that would say specifically CAP Vice Commander, but right here in his information, he says he's the Civil Air Patrol, excuse me, National Vice Commander. These can be changed. They can be edited. So when he's no longer the Vice Commander, he can edit that out and change what it is. Again, where he is, they're using the Civil Air Patrol website and when he joined. So that's what you can add on your links. So you've got your account. Now you're going to write your first tweet. Remember, you can have up to 240 characters. Include some hashtags and include some tweeple, and you add a photo. And this way, by adding some hashtags and some tweeple, people are going to know that you exist. Because if you tweet without doing this, no one knows you're there. So you have to, and that's how you build your following, is that you start including people and hashtags. And then as people find you, then they engage with you and your followership grows. So when I did this class initially, and I said I was at the Maryland Wing Conference, so we did this in the group. So I was showing them how to do this, and I tweeted this out. So, oh, this is my first tweet. Taking a class at Maryland Wing CAP at Civil Air Patrol Conference in Ocean City, Maryland. Great AM session with the Maryland Wing Commander and Brigadier General Felka. Now, I did this as my first tweet, but I never actually sent it. I actually changed it. I modified it. What I actually said, what I actually sent out was very similar to this, but I said teaching a class on Twitter, because my followers would not understand why I'm putting that as my first tweet, because it wasn't. However, it was to demonstrate how you would go about, and always say, hey, this is my first tweet. And everybody will go, great, great, and they'll want to support you. Now, how do I know that I've reached 240 characters? I'm just typing. Well, if you notice this blue circle, you can see that, okay, I'm about halfway there. It's going to keep filling up, and it will let you know when you no longer have the characters. So here's what I did, just to show you. Test, 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 all the way up. I reached my character limit. I'm -9. I'm in the red, and see, this is grayed out. It will not let me tweet. So that's how you know you have to backspace, and you have to adjust what you've written. Sometimes, you may have to use some abbreviations. You may just have to take out some words instead of, use a hashtag instead of the full name of an organization. And then down here, you can add your picture. You could add a GIF. These are stats, and or you could add a location. So that's how you would create your first tweet. And then you want to follow others. So build your audience. Follow and follow back. Retweet interesting items, and you're going to like tweets that impress you. Every time you do something, whoever you are tweeting, retweeting, following, are going or putting their handle in your tweet, they're going to get a notification, and then they may follow you back. The only way you're going to build your audience is to engage with an audience. So you're going to follow people, look through, maybe find people that you are interested in following, and start saying, hey, I'm going to follow them. They will get a notification, and they'll decide, oh, they look interesting, I'll follow them back for a while. And what I do sometimes is, if somebody follows me, I'll follow them back, and then I may follow them for a matter of weeks or months, and then I may decide, this isn't really something I'm interested in. It may be a company or something, and I will unfollow them. They never find out that, unless they're paying attention to you specifically, that you unfollowed them. You just quietly unfollow them. But say I get something from Civil Air Patrol on my Twitter feed, and that's really interesting, I want to share that. Well, then retweet them. Civil Air Patrol will get a notice that you retweeted them. I like that tweet. They will get a notice that you liked that tweet. So everybody kind of knows what everybody's doing, and that's how you build your audience. So obviously, we're in a webinar format. I can't get questions from you. If you have questions, I highly recommend that you speak with your public affairs officer, whether it's at the unit or the wing level. If not, go and just Google search Twitter and find the answers to your questions. But I highly recommend that you start to use Twitter as a way to engage your audience for Civil Air Patrol. So I want to thank you all for joining me during this webinar, and have a good day.